bush beans versus pole beans. Which one should you plant? Which one is better? There's no better, they're just different. So here's an example of pole beans. This is actually one bean plant, two actually. Pole beans grow very wide, very tall, and they can get 12 feet tall. They produce beans for about a month, and this is the rattlesnake variety, and they tend to be a little more disease resistant. They also need a lot more space. They need trellising. Bush beans don't need trellising. They grow about 2 feet tall. They're also very productive. You can plant them closer together and they will produce beans for about 2 weeks. I've actually been harvesting for a little more than 2 weeks and I have a lot more to pick. And then it's going to be time to replace these plants. They're not as disease resistant. As you can see, I planted these at about the same time. This is 28 plants versus 2 plants over there. So obviously I'm going to get a lot more production off of 28 plants. But I can plant more plants in a more compact space. So I really like both, and I do like bush beans for production, but I like to have pole beans for longevity. So while once I start harvesting, removing all the plants off of here, which I'm going to have to do after I harvest all these, then I'm going to replant it. I'll still be getting pole beans, but in the meantime, last week, I actually started some more bush beans. This is the Provider variety, and these bush beans will be ready to go and kind of fill in the gap then once the pole beans are done. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but having duplicity in your gardens is great. Having both varieties makes a ton of sense because then you're always getting beans. In the past, I only planted bush beans and then I was like, oh man, look, the beans are so great. Oh my gosh. And then it's like, where'd they all go? Until I learned that you can expect 2 to 3 weeks of production versus 4 to 5 weeks off of a pole bean. So I hope that helps you guys understand the difference between bush and pole beans.